As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Why do we gather for the holidays? We gather because, in the blur of life, we often take our blessings for granted, distracted by the noise and our own interests. We gather to slow down and reflect on what truly matters, our loved ones, and cherishing the simple moments of joy. We gather to choose gratitude. Thank you, Arizona, for the very warm welcome, and have a blessed Thanksgiving from all of us at Shields.
Sometimes a girl in my class doesn't bring anything to eat for lunch.
The truth is, in America, 1 in 5 kids worry about their next meal.
I want everybody to have yummy food.
So do we. That's why Fry's donates surplus fresh food from our shelves to your local food bank. We've provided over 3.5 billion meals through our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan. Visit frysfood.com to see how you can help fight hunger and waste in our community.
Because nobody should have an empty tummy.
The Kia Season of New Traditions year-end sales event is going on now at
Right now, you can receive up to $10,000 bonus cash on Kia's most popular EVs, like the 2025 Kia EV6 and 2026 Kia EV9.
The name to remember, Mark Kia, Mark Kia.
Does your student struggle in a traditional school setting? For nearly 25 years, Primavera Online has helped Arizona K-12 students thrive with an accredited tuition-free education from home. Learn more at chooseprimavera.com. That's chooseprimavera.com.
Dynasty Collision, Phoenix's top-rated collision center, covers up to $1,000 of your deductible. Call 602-529-3304. With 5-star reviews and a lifetime warranty, Dynasty Collision is your repair solution. Call now 602-529-3304. Dynasty Collision.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
What I meant to say yesterday was my 3-point play is the Houston Texans plus the points. Obviously, welcome in Friday edition, a football Friday edition of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. Producer Evan is on the other side of the glass, ready to take your phone calls, ready to take your picks today. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us all throughout the program, but also the phone number that you'll need in hour number 2 to play with us for our picks segment. What an interesting Thursday night football game last night, and all of the reasons why you don't put 3 points on that game in particular. Like everything I was concerned about came to fruition in that game last night.
And also the over that I told everybody that I might play was 44.5. And I would like at halftime, I was like, I knew I should have taken the over. Like 6 points in the second half.
42 in total. You would have been kicking yourself.
I would have been kicking myself.
You would have been in the spot I was in last Friday using 3 points. Because I'm assuming you would have used 3 points.
Probably, yeah.
Because you're not a coward. You use 3 points on Thursday night if you're going to go early. And you would have been in the spot I was in last week. Kind of pressing a little bit. But what a weird and interesting game. Lots of questions about where Buffalo now fits in. I'm sure this is going to kick up conversations about what they should do with the coach because it feels like they're allowing the division to slip away from them. Right now, they're a playoff team. They're the 6th seed, so they have to go on the road for 3 consecutive weeks, more than likely. So there's a lot of questions there. In Houston, you can't get rid of that team.
Oh, my gosh. 2 things. Takeaway. Didn't it feel like Buffalo gets the hook and ladder on 4th and 27? You're like, all right.
Game over.
Yeah, game over. They won this one.
You're like, yep, they did it again.
The pass rush for the Houston Texans is unbelievable. What Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson are is simply the best pass rush duo in football.
Yeah, I saw a stat. Maybe I have the numbers backwards. They've allowed only 10 touchdowns, 10 passing touchdowns all year, and they have 12 interceptions.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play them in a playoff game.
I mean, that defense is as advertised. And, he's not playing for them right now because he's banged up, but we've seen what a great version of C.J. Stroud could look like for that team. So if they're able to put all that together, you're talking about a team, and I think you use the correct phrase there, don't want to play them. You can beat them, but they are a team that if they pull off the upset, you're not going to be surprised by it.
Because right now they're 6-5, right?
Yeah, 10 touchdown passes allowed for the pass defense, 12 interceptions. I mean, D'Amico Ryans has that group playing absolutely on another level right now, and it's kept them afloat while C.J. Stroud has been sidelined.
And they only need a few big plays to beat you, in all honesty.
And Mills we use this term, it's become sort of a knock on quarterbacks, but he's just a game manager. I mean, he's never going to put the game into peril for you. He's going to always keep you in that game. And with a defense that's able to get you those extra possessions, that's a huge chip to have in your back pocket. And it's just the Houston Texans defense. They did it again. That is not our top story here today. I did want to make a joke about how my 3-point play was going to be the opposite last night. And so I'm glad that I didn't take the 3 points on Buffalo.
I will tell you, though, the next two big ones for the Texans before we move, next two games are big ones for the Texans.
Who do they have next up on the
at
schedule?
Indy, but they're coming off a mini bye. And then they play at Kansas City.
So
they win both of those games, they're a playoff team.
And you have to keep in the back of your mind that Kansas City game matters a lot because Kansas City is in the wild card race this year, not competing for the division.
And that would give you the tiebreaker off them.
That's a team.
But you got the Colts twice here in the end of the year. Like, you can make a play at this division.
You could. The game against Kansas City, I think, is the more important one to get. Like, if I lose to Indy, I still have a path to the postseason. If I lose to Kansas City, I'm now opening the door for them a little bit. A lot of teams hovering. Jacksonville, the team that we're going to see nice up close and personal on Sunday, they're hovering around this. Baltimore at 5-5, hovering around this. Pittsburgh, if they slip in the division to Baltimore, they're in this. You got a lot of teams kind of clumped together, and that's going to lead to some intriguing matchups here this weekend in Week 12. We'll get to that in the NFL look ahead a little bit later on this hour. Now, but we're starting today's program because the biggest story of the day, NBA Cup action tonight. Yes, the Phoenix Suns, they take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's game 2 of group play of the NBA Cup. And yeah, we're excited.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
I think the latest into the open that we've hit the Daily Special sounder. But that's what happens when you have a intriguing, entertaining, down-to-the-wire Thursday night football game like last night. Phoenix Suns back in action tonight, and it is all about the NBA Cup. We've embraced it here on this program. We hope that you're embracing it at home. On the big screen tonight for me, Suns Timberwolves. Not only because it's an NBA Cup game, but it is another opportunity for this basketball team against a quality opponent. Only one of their 9 wins this season have come against a team with a winning record. A chance to add to that column tonight, to get a meaningful victory against Minnesota, to show us that you belong against those teams. And yesterday we tried to search for what's next for the Phoenix Suns because they're a little bit ahead of schedule here through the first 15 games. Well, why not the NBA Cup? Why not put a little bit more emphasis on these games and get excited about the idea that the Suns could win this group and play some meaningful basketball in the NBA Cup and to give us something to root for? Yeah, it's a banner and a title and a trophy that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't earn you anything. It doesn't mean you're going to get a postseason spot. It's something that the NBA made up in an effort to keep their regular season, at least in the early stages, meaningful, impactful, make you want to sit down and watch. And I will tell you, the Phoenix Suns have made me want to sit down and watch them play. Now add on top of it that tonight is an NBA Cup game. I am fully embracing this entire NBA Cup this year because if we're being honest with each other, the NBA Cup is made for teams like the Phoenix Suns. The NBA Cup is made for teams that are not going to be competing for a championship at the end of the season, that are not towards the back end of things in their respective conferences, tanking to get a top pick. The NBA Cup is made for teams like the Phoenix Suns. It's made for teams like Portland. It's made for teams like Atlanta. It's made for teams like, I don't know, pick your middle-class team in the Eastern Conference. It's made for teams like Golden State in their current situation. It's made for teams like that you're not going to pick as a title contender. You're not going to pick as a conference finals contender, but they have something to play for. They have something that, while again, a trophy that may just go on a shelf and collect dust, it may show the signs of the progress, and it's a tangible thing that we can all point to say they're on the right track. And the other reason why the NBA Cup is made for a team like the Phoenix Suns is in an era of load management, in an era of stars sitting out, in an era of superstar basketball, in an era of teams only playing for the latter part of the season. You have a Phoenix Suns team that's trying to build a new culture and a new identity, and that identity is one of grit. It is one of heart. It is one of effort. It is one of, when you sit down to watch Phoenix Suns basketball, you know that you're going to see 4 quarters of a complete effort from them. They are never going to give up on a game. They're going to bring their best every single night. That's what the NBA Cup was designed to do. It was designed to make these regular season games that wouldn't have something attached to them mean just a little bit more. And yeah, it's a little gimmicky. You got these cool, fancy court designs that you get, and maybe to some of you don't like them. I tend to enjoy them. I tend to enjoy my sports having some personality, having some flair, and if that's what the NBA thinks is going to help generate some more ratings for these individual regular season games, I'm all for it, and you should be too. The Phoenix Suns are made for the NBA Cup. This year's team, and I think the first couple years of what Jordan Ott and company are trying to do here. The NBA Cup, think about this, producer Evan. The NBA Cup, the Phoenix Suns.
The alignment.
They are a match made in heaven. They are perfect for one another. And so, yeah, it's just a regular season game in the middle of November. Yeah, a loss tonight is not going to derail the entire season for the Phoenix Suns. But I'll tell you what, I want the Suns to get this one tonight. I want them to start the NBA Cup 2-0. I want them walking into that game against Sacramento with a chance to be 3-0, setting up for a really cool clash with Oklahoma City, because I don't think you're going to be able to beat Oklahoma City overall in the season series, but can you get them one time? And could that one time be Friday, November 28th, next Friday? Could it be on that day to punch your ticket into the bracket play of the NBA Cup? I'm all in. You've been listening to this show all season long. You know we've embraced what this is because it's kind of the perfect embodiment of what the Phoenix Suns are trying to be this year. So full steam ahead, looking forward to this. It's a great challenge. It's a great test. And it also has a little bit extra on top of it because playing that meaningful basketball, I believe it's in Vegas again, that bracket play, potentially winning an NBA Cup. Boy, would it just be a symbol of the Suns being on the right track. We're looking for that next thing. Why not the NBA Cup?
And I think if you get out of this group play and into that tournament, whatever the next stage is called, think about the style of, and I'm not calling it playoff basketball, but you would see them play a heightened form of basketball.
There's a lot of money on the line.
And I think that would be a good learning point for us to see Jordan Ott in those moments, for us to see this young roster in those moments. How do they play? A little bit more money on the line, right? Like, those things are probably a little important.
Stage a little bigger, lights a little brighter, right? How do they? You're right. It's not a one-to-one to playoff basketball because at the end of the day, we're still talking about regular season games. But the stage being a little bit bigger, the lights being a little bit brighter, it could provide a little bit of value to this team.
Yeah, we're not calling it this, the Western Conference Finals.
No, of course
not. What we are saying, though, is it's a stage for these guys to play a heightened form of basketball that could get them ready for what they may see in, April, May, if they do get into a playoff spot, which, let's face it, we believe they're going to be in, especially with how they're playing right now.
It is a chance to gain a little bit of competitive experience, right? That's how I would describe it. And so that's why I'm embracing it. That's why we're all in here on the NBA Cup.
Let me ask you a question.
Please.
The Suns make the play-in.
Yeah.
What if we did a live lunch break?
We're taking the show on the road. Now, would play the quarterfinal games on the 9th and the 10th. Those wouldn't be in Vegas. So we're talking a semifinals appearance. So we're talking not only getting through Minnesota, Sacramento, and Oklahoma City.
Wait, so the quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals not in.
What if we hosted a quarterfinal?
So you certainly would think that if this team goes 4-0 and they win their group,
they would host a
they would host a quarterfinal game. So we would do a live lunch break where? From our current,
from the stadium?
No, from here. Well, they're not going to let us. We are not the official broadcast partner of the Phoenix Suns, so they're not going to let us do the show from down there. So we're going to do it from
here, and then we should go to the game.
Okay, all right. I can get on board with potentially going to the quarterfinal game. I can get on board with that. Now they go to the semifinal or championship in Vegas. Maybe the lunch break takes a road trip.
Now we're talking.
I don't know about that because
think about all we could do.
I understand that we have a bunch of road trips already planned. You're going to the Panthers home game in the early part of February, January. So I don't know if we have room for 2 major road trips.
I just want to be clear that the lunch break is sending me to a Panthers home playoff game if they win the division.
I'm telling you that the lunch break is not sending you. You would be going on your own dime. We that's not coming out of the show's budget. The show's budget is not going to do that.
My Panthers.
Your Panthers, yes.
Imagine how conflicted I would be if the Panthers have to play the Eagles in a divisional round.
There's no conflict at all. You root for your team.
Yes, no, I know.
Zero conflict whatsoever. You go to the game because that's an extra reason to go, but you are very clearly rooting. It's a win-win for you because you're going to be happy either way.
No, I will
One
not
of your teams is going to be in the next round.
You're going to see me be real upset that they lost to the Panthers. Like, how'd you lose to the Panthers in the playoffs? I'm really going to have to eat my words.
That's your team. No, you always got to fall back that the Panthers were your other team this year. So exciting times because of how great they've started the year, but also exciting times because the NBA Cup, I didn't think I was going to embrace it at the beginning. I really didn't. I thought it was just a gimmick. I thought it was Adam Silver having the breadcrumbs of a good idea, trying to steal something from the European soccer model. But it didn't have any weight. It didn't have any meaning to it. And I just wasn't sure if it was going to work. And I don't know if it's working in terms of the ratings. But I'll tell you what, I'm in. I'm excited about it. And again, I think it is because where Phoenix is at right now in their life cycle, where this team is right now, you embrace something like this because it may be your only chance to play some competitive basketball and compete for a trophy. Although if the Suns keep playing the way that they're playing, there may be a playoff series in their future.
So the way I'm with you. When it first came out, I was not on board for it. The way I've learned to look at it is, and I say this about college football, there are levels to college football, right? So let's look at ASU last year. All of us would have been like, wow, step in the right direction for Arizona State to make a bowl game. Now they exceeded that and won the conference, go to playoff. All of those things are exceeding expectations. But we would have been happy had they won a bowl game.
Sure.
That's the way to look at it, is there are levels in college football. Texas wants to compete for a national championship every year. That's who they are. That's what they want to do.
So
but for a team like
short of that is a disappointment.
Is a disappointment. A team like Tulane is just trying to get in.
Right. Want to see the table.
Want to see the table.
And so for Phoenix, this year, last year, the NBA Cup is nothing. The NBA Cup is a coaster that collects dust.
This year,
it could mean something.
It could mean something because it's a seat at the table.
Yep.
And that's the way I've learned to look at it. So for those teams that maybe are short of falling, and competing in an NBA championship in a 7-game series with the Oklahoma Cities of the world, the NBA Cup's a good place to get some real basketball experience.
I'm just checking.
Some real heightened of the sport experience.
I'm just checking on something. I just want to make sure that this statistic is accurate. It's correct. You win the NBA Cup, 2 for 2 and going to the postseason. Lakers did it in 23-24. Bucks did it in 24-25. So just saying.
Neither of those teams won the NBA Finals.
Neither one of those teams won the NBA Finals. So you got a chance here to do something just fun, I think. And it would be a continuation. Here's the other part. It's a continuation of the good vibes, right? Being in the NBA Cup, coming out of this group would just be a continuation of the vibes. That's all it would be. And that's a good thing. That's an important thing here in year one. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to get involved, to join the program here today on the show. We've also got you covered over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel, where you can watch the show via our live stream. When we come back, we've got you covered. A rooting guide for this weekend in college football. Yes, it starts with ASU Colorado, but there's other games you need to keep an eye on. We'll talk about it next. The Lunch Break, KDUS, AM 1060.
James Out West, your destination for sports here in the Valley.
And LSU said, yeah, we've had enough. They've had enough of the experience of Brian Kelly losing 3 out of the last 4, and 2 of which he lost to his coordinator. They were ex-coordinators of him. And the last 3 coaches they've had, they've all won national championship within 4 years. Coach O did it. Les Miles did it. Nick Saban did it. Brian Kelly did not. Yeah, out. Now the question is who they bring in.
Bring back Coach O.
Can't wait to see who that's going to be. No, I think he burned in bridges.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
If you don't have gas in your home, but something doesn't smell good. Ew, what's that smell? If it smells like rotten eggs, there could be a leak in your neighborhood. Now what do I do? If you suspect a leak, move fast, call 911 and Southwest Gas. From a safe location. But I don't have natural gas in my home. Gas lines are buried all around, so even if you don't have gas. I know, call 911 and Southwest Gas.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You've got brothers.
Huh?
$50 and $200 bills just like you.
Hey, what's up? What?
We just got them for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're all going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $250 cash bonus when they open a checking account with direct deposit or $50 with a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The year-end sales event is going on now at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Right now, you can receive a 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard right, 0% APR on all 2025 Mitsubishis.
And if you're thinking about selling or trading your current vehicle, please give us a call. Our data shows that 9 out of 10 times we offer more.
Don't cost yourself $1,000 or more by not making that simple phone call. The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, on approved credit, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Despite being the defending Super Bowl champions in 8-2 right now, the Eagles are a hard watch. Them tush pushing and rock fighting their way to wins every single week is extremely hard on the eyes. So no, we are not entertained, at least not with the on-the-field product. But off the field is a different story because I've never seen so much drama surrounding a defending Super Bowl champ who's 8-2. Actually, it all surrounds their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and the offense. In other words, Jalen Hurts. Now there's a report that it's not just receiver A.J. Brown who's frustrated, but other players and members of the organization as well. The guy has 16 TDs, 1 pick, is 8-2. Instead of being one of the better quarterbacks in the league, he's made out to be the absolute worst. And it's not even your normal outside hate. Now it's internal. And honestly, it's hilarious. I can't wait to see them all run him under the bus and cut him just as he accepts his second Super Bowl MVP award. I'm Jim Rome. Hey, want to win the holiday season? Of course you do. That's why you need Aura Frames. Aura Frames are my favorite gift because it's personal, easy, and unforgettable. Get this. You can even upload photos of you and your loved ones before it arrives. Aura Frames is thoughtful from the moment it's unwrapped, and it makes it look like you planned it all along. And let's be real, fellas. This is so much better than that sweater you were eyeing. For a limited time, visit auraframes.com for $45 off on a Carver mat frame with code ROME, and support us by mentioning the Jim Rome Show at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract, play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Welcome back into the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We've got the NFL look ahead coming up in about 15 minutes from now. Less than that. How about 10 minutes from now? We've got the NFL look ahead. We'll go around week 12 with your NFL tour guide, producer Evan, giving us, I believe we're stateside all day long on Sunday.
Yeah, international play is over.
We're done. So
no getting up.
So no getting up early, but we will take a trip around the NFL and preview all of the matchups here over the weekend. But before we can get to Sunday, we have some college football action to attend to on Saturday, and it will start with ASU taking on Colorado. And yes, as we sit here on a football Friday, November 21st, the Sun Devils still mathematically in a position to defend their Big 12 championship from a year ago. Step one of that plan is they've got to win out. So they've got to take care of business against Colorado. Colorado having a down season. They lose their quarterback. They lose their top offensive and defensive weapon to the draft. And so it's been a little bit of a rebuilding year there in Colorado for Deion Sanders, not going exactly the way he had planned it. ASU could have Jordan Tyson back. Believe he's listed as questionable for the game on Saturday. So getting him back certainly should impact things offensively. But the name of the game for the Sun Devils, run the ball. Not just because it's who you are as a team and you've had success with it. You're going up against, it's not the worst, but it's pretty darn close. Colorado's run defense ranks 131 out of 134 FBS teams in terms of rushing defense. They give up over 200 yards a game on the ground. So run, and then run again, and then fake like you're going to pass, and then run some more with Jeff Sims. That should be the game plan for Kenny Dillingham and the Sun Devils over the weekend. You've got to take care of business. But that's not all, because you need some help. And so hopefully, producer Evan, you have our new fancy favorite website here on the program, the Big 12 Championship Predictor. Do you have that ready to go for us?
Oh, we are ready to go. So I just want to be clear on what everybody needs to watch this weekend.
Yeah, you've got two. There's outside of ASU, there are
two big games.
Two big games that are immediately of importance. And then if the results don't go the Sun Devils' way, they're not out of it. We'll go to next week, and there'll be some more games we'll need to keep an eye on.
So no matter what, and despite a loss, if Arizona State wins this week, they'll be in play for the Big 12 championship next week.
Yes, by winning this week, the Sun Devils will get to the last week of the season mathematically in the mix for a Big 12 title berth, which, if you'll remember at the beginning of the season, we said was the goal. So mission accomplished, even with this massive roller coaster ride we've all been on.
So the most important one for Arizona State is if Cincinnati beats BYU, Arizona State is in the mix. That game kicks off on Fox, same time as Arizona State, which is 6 p.m. local time.
So ASU gets the big screen. BYU Cincinnati
on the tablet.
Can get the tablet.
Yep. At 2 o'clock is probably the second most important game.
You could give it the big screen if you wanted to.
And that's Kansas State at Utah. We are rooting for Kansas State.
I have always said I love the state of Kansas.
And so here's how it works. So theoretically,
here we go. Just everybody buckle up.
If BYU loses to Cincinnati and Utah loses to Kansas State, all Arizona State needs to do is win out, and they are in the Big 12 championship.
I want to stop you right there. That's it. If ASU gets both results they need outside of their win or their game, I should say, against Colorado, if BYU loses to Cincinnati and they're facing a 7-3 Cincinnati team, so they're not facing a pushover. If they lose to Cincinnati and that game is in Cincinnati and BYU is only a 2.5-point favorite. So if Cincinnati pulls the upset and beats BYU, and Utah loses to Kansas State this week, ASU not only is in play for the Big 12 title game, they control their own destiny. It is a win and in scenario for them if they get those results. If they get them this week, it is beat U of A, win the Territorial Cup. You are in the Big 12 title game. It's that simple. So by the time ASU kicks off tomorrow night, they will know 1/3 of the equation. They will know if they got the Utah part of it. Now, Utah beating Kansas State just kicks the can to the following week, and you'll need the Utah loss that week. But ASU could end the week. We could go to bed Saturday night with ASU in full control of their destiny. They need some help. It's not fully in their control, but it starts with beating Colorado, and then you keep an eye on these other two games. That is your rooting guide for this weekend. That is the order of operations. Root for Kansas State, root for Cincinnati, and the Sun Devils need to take care of business. A Sun Devil loss, it's over. You can wrap it up. They will not be defending their Big 12 title. They win. They put a lot of pressure on BYU. They put a lot of pressure on Utah.
And the other scenario, which technically could happen, and this is going to sound crazy.
Okay. Do I need a piece of paper?
Yeah, you're going to need a piece of paper.
Hold on. I'm going to use this one for the picks. So I'm going to keep that one over there.
By the way, in that scenario, you would need Houston to win both games.
As well?
As well.
So also go Houston.
But Houston's big favorites in both. Well, let me check that. No, BYU, Houston, if they beat TCU and lose to Baylor, you're fine. But they have to beat TCU.
And they're home, and they're 1.5-point favorites against TCU. And that game starts at the same time as, I believe, the Utah game.
Yeah.
If you want to split screen those.
So it's very, very interesting because
just take care of business, right?
Yeah. So here's the strangest part. There is a world where if you get BYU to 2 losses, Arizona State to 2 losses, Utah to 2 losses, and Houston 2 losses. Despite all of those teams having 2 losses and Arizona State losing to both Utah and Houston, Arizona State would get in by record versus common opponents because Arizona State is the only team that would have beaten Texas Tech.
Sounds like we're watching a rerun of last year.
So you get Texas Tech versus ASU.
I mean, this is exactly how ASU got in last year. They were team number 2, and they won a tiebreaker of 4 teams. It's exactly how they got in last year and then beat Iowa State in the Big 12 title. So rooting guide for this week. And then on Monday, we'll break it all down. If ASU wins, we'll then talk about what's next up on the list. But root for Kansas State, root for Houston, root for Cincinnati, and root for ASU to take care of business against Colorado.
Houston, not that important.
No, but
and Utah is less important than BYU. There is no path in
unless BYU loses one of these 2 games.
Unless BYU loses one of these last 2 games. There is a path in if Utah wins out and if Houston wins out.
So Cincinnati and ASU, the most important outcomes. ASU first and Cincinnati right behind it, the 2 most important outcomes for the Sun Devils heading into the weekend. That's Saturday. Then we get to Sunday, and it is week 12 in the NFL. We take our weekly trip around the NFL, preview all of the action. We call it the NFL Look Ahead. It's next, the lunch break, KDUS. AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Sticks. The Hits. Live at Celebrity Theater. Friday and Saturday, January 9th and 10th. With special guest Max Gomez. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. A trip through all their best. Don't miss Sticks Live. Produced by Danny Zalisco Presents.
The Mazda More to Move You sales event is going on now at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale.
Right now at Mark Mazda, Receive 0.9 APR for 60 full months on some of Mazda's most popular models, like a 25 Mazda CX-5. And don't know what to do with your trade? We'll give you a minimum $8,000 for any trade, no matter what shape it's in, as long as it runs based on the actual MSRP.
And if $8,000 is the minimum, think what your good trade might be worth. The name to remember? Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda. On credit plus 98 fee.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. In this holiday season, I want to give back. So for every home I buy, I'll donate $1,000 to St. Jude. By now, you already know I'll buy your house for cash in any condition, and I'll beat any other offer. And now by selling me your house, you can help out a family at St. Jude. So let's get your home sold quickly. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today. Visit andrewthehomebuyer.com. That's andrewthehomebuyer.com.
Hi, I'm Andy, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a product development manager, I make sure every piece of fine jewelry at Shane Company is meticulously designed for quality. From 14-karat gold chains, pearl necklaces, diamond studs, and of course, dream engagement rings. We know you can get your holiday gifts anywhere these days, but knowing your loved one's gift was crafted by master jewelers, it's a difference everyone can see and feel, no matter the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0, going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN, but according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
We got buy or sell to close up hour number 1 of the program, about 10 minutes or so from now. It is our trip around the NFL. We got Week 12 action started last night with the Texans beating Buffalo. A lot of action on Sunday, a lot of games with playoff implications, a lot of scoreboard watching that is occurring across the league as we get to the latter stages of the season. No better way to preview it all via the NFL Look Ahead. The tour guide, producer Evan, take it away, my friend.
Former foes. And a great story.
No idea where this is going.
Is Raji healthy in his return to Chicago? The Steelers travel to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. Bears are 2.5-point favorites at home in what might be the last time Rodgers takes them on.
Didn't practice much of the week. Don't know if he practiced yesterday.
He did.
Okay, so
but you and I
yesterday.
said also earlier in the week he that doesn't matter.
He could have been on a couch on a beach somewhere all week and showed up on Sunday and thrown for 225 and a couple touchdowns for the Steelers. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Just don't know how compromised he is with the injury. They're not making it a big deal. Now, I don't know if they're just downplaying it because they don't want to give the Bears a competitive advantage. But let's face it, an important game for both sides. Pittsburgh thought the division was wrapped up, and they're just allowing Baltimore to waltz right in. Chicago didn't think I would say this going into Week 12. The leaders of the NFC North trying to hold on, try to hold off the Packers, try to hold off the Lions. They need this one. They're riding some momentum. Ben Johnson's probably going to win himself the Coach of the Year or at least be a finalist for that job. for that award, I should say. So a really important game for both sides. Kind of like the Bears in this one.
Same.
I like the way they've been playing. It's not an official play. I'm not using any points on it.
I was going to say, I think we're both staying away, but I think I would take Chicago minus the 2.5. Just feels like maybe Rodgers gets hot in Chicago too.
Right, and that's the reason why you stay away from it, because he's just had such a good track record there. But coming into it, from a vibes check, you feel much better about the Bears coming into this game than you do the Steelers. Now, that's not how we determine winners and losers. They got to play the game. But Bears coming into this game on a good note, Steelers anything but, considering the injury to Rodgers.
I got to tell you, I love the over 45.5. Also not an official play.
You loved the over last night, too. How'd that work out for you?
It's knocking on the door. The best team in the AFC, the New England Patriots at 9-2.
That's right.
Travel to Cincinnati to take on the 3-7 Bengals. On the road, the Patriots are 6.5-point favorites versus Flacco and the Bengals.
It's interesting what you just said there. You said Joe Flacco and the Bengals. Zach Taylor non-committal today about who his quarterback is going to be. They're listing Joe Burrow as questionable.
Let me tell you who it'll be. Flacco.
They have until 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow to officially activate him for the game. So keep an eye on your social media accounts around the middle of the day tomorrow. Just as you're getting settled in to watch Utah and Kansas State against and TCU and Houston, just as you're settling in, just keep an eye to see if the Cincinnati Bengals activated Joe Burrow for this game.
The Giants travel to Detroit to take on the Lions after a loss on Sunday Night Football. Lions 12.5-point favorites.
And now they're going to get...
By the way, that was bought up. This morning I saw it at 10.5.
Do you want to know why it went up? Jackson Dart ruled out for this game. Did not clear concussion protocol. So it will be Jameis Winston under center again for the New York Giants. And that feels like the perfect get-right spot for this entire Lions team.
They need it.
He's
need to get to
throw
7-4.
3 interceptions in this game. Not an official play, but 3 interceptions is what I'm...
From outside the division, the Lions could be in a serious spot to leading the division. Or from outside the playoffs, they could be in a spot to in front in the division this week.
Yeah, Steelers
You're going to need some help, but it's possible.
Still, yeah, absolutely possible. And look, they should win this game, and they should win it comfortably. They're the better football team.
Certainly. J.J. McCarthy looking for a rebound. Can he get it in Green Bay? The 4-6 Vikings travel to take on the 6-3-1 Packers. Packers 6-point favorites at home after escaping New York with a win last week.
The more you watch the Vikings and the more you hear about the Vikings this year, something feels off. I don't know what it is. You got the latest was Justin Jefferson visibly upset during the game at just the state of their offense. The lack thereof, I should say. Something appears off. I think the Vikings are done. We ended their season earlier this week. Packers have everything to play for in this game. The Vikings certainly do as well because they're not mathematically out of it. The Packers certainly, it's been rocky. It's been up and down. I think at 6-3-1, we still don't really know what the Packers are. And as we get this late in the season, that's kind of not a good sign. I don't think you're going to find yourself this late in the year, but maybe you start to do that this week.
There's been times where they have felt like the best team in football.
Correct. There are
times you're like, the Packers aren't anything.
Right. There are times where you look at that team and say they can make a run and represent the NFC. They were my pick to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. And then there are other times you watch them play and you go, that's a team that's going to lose in the first week of the postseason. Like, that's the range of outcomes you've seen week to week from this team. They need it. It's a divisional game. They're trying to keep pace with the Bears, trying to hold off the Lions, who they're still in front of. So a lot to play for Green Bay this weekend.
The Seahawks travel to Nashville to take on the Titans, trying to get right after a division loss last week. Seattle 13.5-point favorites in Nashville.
I mean, it being a road game is probably the only thing against this point, but the perfect get-right spot for Seattle. You throw 4 interceptions if you're Sam Darnold. You lose a divisional game to the Rams. You give up the number 1 spot in the NFC. You give up the home playoff game. You're still fine. You're still in playoff shape. But there's a big difference. Ask Sam Darnold. He knows exactly what this feels like. The difference from being a top 2 seed and having a home game than playing on the road in the first week. Seattle gave that up last week. They need a bounce back. Enter the 1-9 Tennessee Titans. The only thing that would make this better is if the game was in Seattle.
They got a chance to bounce back, and then we'll get into it, but the Rams don't have a pushover this week. The Colts traveled to Arrowhead to try and hang the dun chain on the Chiefs. The Colts, 3.5-point dogs.
That's right.
On the road in Kansas City.
I want to let you know right now. I'm thinking about it.
I want to let you know right now. I'm doing it.
So you're in. You're in on Colts plus 3.5.
Yes,
because
sir.
I'm thinking about it strongly. I may stay away now because you're in. I go first, so I don't know. I'll make that determination in hour number 2. I love the Colts in this football game. I love them to go into Arrowhead and end the Chiefs season.
Coming off bye, with how I run the football, they end the Chiefs season.
I think so too. I really do. Now, the confidence that we have scares me because it's a lot of confidence to say they're going to walk into Arrowhead and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, we're saying a lot.
Considering I had zero confidence in Denver last week.
Right, and let's also remember that this is still the Indianapolis Colts who have come out of nowhere this year, and they have not looked great. The last couple of weeks, they've been winning, but it hasn't looked overly impressive. But I don't know, man. There's something about Jonathan Taylor just running all over that Kansas City Chiefs defense. It's an image I can't get out of my head.
Indiana Jones in his quest for the Lombardi Trophy.
Love that.
Finishing off the early window, the New York Jets travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens trying to get above 500. They're 13.5-point favorites at home.
Not only are they trying to get above 500, they're trying to pull even with the Pittsburgh Steelers for first place in the AFC North. It was an overreaction Tuesday, I think 3 weeks ago, where I said Baltimore Ravens are going to win the AFC North. It doesn't look like that much of an overreaction to a little mini winning streak because Baltimore, it's not pretty, but they just keep finding ways right now. 4 in a row to go from 1-5 to 5-5. We're still doing this weekly Lamar Jackson misses a practice and ends up on the injury report thing, which I don't necessarily love. But it's a New York Jets team that's making a change at quarterback. They're going to Tyrod Taylor. They can't do a whole lot offensively. You score 20 points, you win the football game. The Jets defense has not been very good this year. They give up a ton of points early in games. Baltimore minus the 13.5 feels like a lock. It's just a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. And Baltimore should have beat Cleveland pretty handedly last week, and they didn't. So that's another thing. That
the Baltimore offense really hasn't been great
the
last few weeks.
I like Baltimore to win this game.
Shedeur Sanders makes his first start in the NFL. They travel to Vegas to take on the Raiders. And I'll tell you, if your car breaks down on the way, blame Gino. You can blame Gino for everything, as he said in his press conference this week. They're 4-point favorites at home. And I will tell you, if they lose this one, I'm blaming Gino.
2-8, going up against 2-8. Just you clear the schedule. Clear the docket.
That's the only 2:05 game. So if there's no overtime, you're going to have about 15 minutes where you're only tuned into that one.
Well, Cardinals-Jags starts at 2:05 as well.
Oh,
you're talking for the purposes of the NFL look ahead. It's the only 2:05 game. But, yes, Cardinals-Jags gets underway at 2:05 as well.
Skipping Cardinals-Jags as we always do in the look ahead. A divisional matchup in the NFC East. The Eagles travel to Dallas to take on the Cowboys and the Kelly Greens. Dallas feels like they needed to get back to 5-1, keep their playoff chances alive. Eagles are 3.5-point favorites on the road.
You just look at all these Eagles games through the lens of, is this the week the offense figures it out? Is this the week they get A.J. Brown involved and put all that behind them? And we just keep asking the question week after week after week.
I'll be very honest. If the offense does not look good
against this defense,
they're going to fire the coordinator.
Well, not only that, if you can't figure out your offense against this defense, I don't know if I can pick you to win the NFC. I start to worry about your ability to score when it matters most in the postseason.
So, you're saying they're still going to be the 1 seed.
Oh, yes.
Because the schedule lightens up.
Correct.
And the defense is so good,
dude.
If
you can't score points on Dallas's defense,
I agree.
You score points against
I totally agree. And
then you're putting a lot on the defense, and all it takes is one bad day, and it's over.
I agree, but who are the best teams in the NFC?
I think the Rams can beat the Eagles.
The Eagles have beaten them.
I think the Seahawks can beat the Eagles.
Okay.
I think both of those teams can beat the Eagles. I also think the Packers can. They had chances in that game. I know the defense played great, but you can't act like
I get it. The Eagles have beaten them all.
I hear you, but it's not like the Eagles are winning these games by 3 scores. They're playing close games where their defense is making every single stop.
I wholeheartedly agree. I'm the one saying they need to fire the coordinator.
I think if they score, how about this? They score less than 20 points in this game, I'm out on the Eagles repeating as NFC champs.
Okay.
I'm out.
Okay. Falcons travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints.
Let me tell you what I'm not doing on Sunday.
Watching this game.
Watching this game.
New Orleans -2.5. They're favorites at home.
I don't know what you. I don't know. I'm going to look in the camera for this one. I don't know what you want me to say about this.
If you're the Falcons, you're playing for the number 1 pick, right? Oh, wait. They don't have it.
But if you're the Saints, you're also playing for the number 1 pick. So this is, I mean, the Falcons aren't really in the business of losing because it doesn't help them.
Falcons don't have their first round
I'm saying it
pick.
doesn't help them.
I hope James Pierce is great, everybody. I really do.
I mean, he's good. He's been good. He just hasn't been great.
They continue to be a really, really bad run organization.
I will watch 0 seconds of this game.
I don't even know if Red Zone will go to it.
Well, they will because there's only 4 games.
I still don't think so.
I might be locked. I mean, what are they going to go to, Browns or Raiders? I mean, I'm going to be locked into Jags Cardinals, and we're going to talk about that at the top of the hour. But not the most appetizing afternoon
late window. No, because I will tell you, though, the morning window isn't bad.
No, but the late window is only 4. It's 4 games? And
bad.
They're not good.
But that gears you up for a great Sunday night game.
Sunday night brings it all back. Bucks Rams, baby.
Tampa Bay travels to LA to take on the Rams. And I got to tell you, this line kind of caught me off guard. The Rams are
-7
7-point favorites at home.
That's right. It's a big game for the Rams. You just got the big win against Seattle. Now you play a Tampa team that's a good team. Can you keep the momentum rolling? And if you're Tampa, can you stop the bleeding? Can you get back into the win column? You've lost 2 in a row to the Patriots and the Bills. You've lost 3 of the last 4 with the only win, a road win against the Saints. It's not the most inspiring thing. So can you, and oh, by the way, if you lose, you're putting the division in play for the Carolina Panthers, who you play twice at the end of the season. You got to find a win here.
I want to be very honest.
Baker Mayfield.
I'll tell you my other pick.
Game.
This is a ridiculous spread.
Okay.
This is 7 points in this game is a ridiculous spread.
Then
I think the Rams are good. I just think that's really disrespectful to what the Bucs are.
I eagerly await your picks in hour number 2 of the program.
I also want to say, like, I know everybody was so impressed with the Rams. They beat Seattle. They had 4 picks. They almost lost the game.
No, that's what I'm saying. They need to build off of that win. They need to build some momentum.
And if they don't,
they're going to invite Seattle right back in.
Yeah. We're not going to preview the Monday night game, but that is the one to watch this week.
Panthers 49ers on Monday night. We'll get to that on Monday. Maybe there'll be some points on that. That is your Week 12 NFL look ahead. When we come back, we wrap up hour number 1 of the program, a little buy or sell. It's next, the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think the average 26 years old, Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan gene, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Millions of fans agree. This Christmas tradition rocks. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert, presenting the Ghosts of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO and more. November 30th, 2 shows, 3 and 7:30 p.m. PHX Arena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, presented by 100.7 KSLX.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shea Company, where a small box with a burgundy bow will help you win the holidays. As an in-house designer, I love creating meaningful, fine jewelry gifts. Choose a necklace with a gorgeous infinity charm to symbolize your everlasting love. Or go for a personalized piece with an engraving, their zodiac sign, favorite color gemstone, or their initial accented with pave diamonds. Because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Stop by or shop now at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Been crazy busy these days?
Sounds like you could use a little we time. That means playtime at the AAA 4-Diamond Wekopa Casino Resort. Game time with more than 900 slots plus table games. Maybe a tea time on one of 2 nationally ranked courses. And definitely some hang time at WKP Sportsbook, the largest sportsbook in the state. Wekopa Casino Resort. It's we time.
Start saving early and get ready for the year's biggest deals at the Living Spaces Black Friday event. Discover stylish, modern sofas starting at just $295. Elevate your gatherings with dining sets from $295. Upgrade your bedroom with queen beds starting at $195. And sink into relaxation with ultra-comfy recliners at prices you won't believe. Plus, pay no interest for 24 months on select purchases with your good credit. Get it all before Thanksgiving with free shipping as soon as next day. Only at the Living Spaces Black Friday event.
Living Spaces.
Join ASU women's basketball this Saturday on KDUS AM 1060. The Lady Sun Devils have fought hard this season and are ready to give it their all against UNLV. Under the direction of head coach Molly Miller, ASU remains undefeated on the court and look to keep their streak going as they defend Desert Financial Arena. It's ASU versus UNLV this Saturday afternoon. A pregame at 1:30 p.m. and tip-off at 2 right here on KDUS AM 1060, online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Putting the finishing touches on hour number 1 of the show. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Football Friday edition of the Lunch Break. Before we get out of here with hour number 1, a little buy or sell. The hottest takes in the Valley.
The hottest takes in the Valley.
I have 2 choices.
You could buy.
I can buy.
You could sell.
Or I can sell.
Sometimes you put things on layaway.
Sometimes. It's rare. I've done it, I think, twice in the history of buy or sell.
The Suns will play the Timberwolves down to the wire, win or lose tonight.
Boy, I certainly hope so. I'll buy this just from an optimism perspective. I mean, they've done it. I mean, even in the loss against Atlanta, they had the 22-point lead. They played well against Portland the other night. I mean, they've been in every one of these games in the month of November, maybe outside of that Golden State game. So, yeah, I'll be all in on them bringing – and they've had a couple days off, too. That's super helpful. Haven't played since, Tuesday? So they're fresh, ready to go. Yeah, I expect them to compete, to keep it competitive tonight.
The Cardinals will turn the ball over 2 or more times against the Jags this weekend.
So this is because the Jags have been really good this season at creating turnovers?
Yeah, they're ranked 2nd in the NFL with 1.8 turnovers per game. The only team in front of them is Chicago with 2.2.
Yeah, they started the year super hot. It was like 3 turnovers in each of their first 3 or 4 games. I think that's really kind of set the mark for them. They haven't lived up to that level. It's kind of come down a little bit, but they've been really good in that regard. I mean, the Cardinals, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Jacoby Brissett's not a turnover machine. They're not really – that's not the reason why these losses are piling up. They're not turning the ball over a ton. Right? I mean, they lose the game against San Francisco because they allow the kick return that sets up Christian McCaffrey on the 1-yard line. He scores.
In case you were wondering, by the way, Seattle turns the ball over more than anybody in the NFL.
Where did the
Cardinals rank 11th in 1.3 per game.
So a little bit more than I thought. I'll sell. They won't turn the ball over twice.
The D-backs will bring in at least 3 new starting pitchers.
3, huh?
I know it feels like a lot, but I feel like they need all.
They need at least 2. They need at least 2 starters. Then you would think that they would want one veteran like swingman that they could use out there in the pen. Yeah, I'll buy this. At least 3 starters, yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it kind of all offseason, right? They're going to have to throw darts at the dartboard.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be able to spend oodles of money. So they're going to give somebody a 1-year deal, and it's going to be somebody that may be trying to bounce back from an injury or bounce back from a year where they underperformed, or, they overplayed the market and they're looking for a nice landing spot. And so they are intrigued by Arizona. And yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the bucket that they shop in.
ASU will have 200 yards rushing this week.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the MO of the Colorado run defense, right?
Certainly.
They turn the ball. They allow, 200? I think it's like a little over 200. We know that's what ASU wants to do. Yeah, I'll buy this one as well. ASU is going to have a strong commitment to the run game tomorrow night. And it's because it's their strength, but it's also Colorado's defense's weakness. Our number one of the program in the books. When we come back, we preview Cardinals, Jaguars. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Football Friday edition of the Lunch Break right here on KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Feed a family, make a kid happy.
We're proud to support the 25th annual Operation Santa Claus. You can help make the holidays brighter for families in need by donating non-perishable food, new toys, or children's clothing at Sanderson Ford, Sanderson, Lincoln, ABC 15, or select U-Haul locations. All donations benefit local charities. Visit givetotheclaus.com for drop-off locations and details.
Sanderson Ford, Lincoln, and ABC 15.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Twin Navajo Casino.
If you're a fan of any sport on the planet, college or pro, then we are right where you want to be.
Place to come when you want to have too much fun.
Real sports fans need a sports book powered by Hard Rock Bet. Follow the money line to Twin Arrows and too much fun.
Twin Arrows.
The best indoor tailgate party in Flagstaff with massive HD screens, cold drinks, game time food specials, and best service is at Arrow Sports Bar. After the game, get back in the game at craps, blackjack, and slots. Now that's too much fun.
The place to come when you want to have too much fun.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Twin Arrows.
Only 50% of Arizonans believe their health insurance will cover them in a major medical emergency, like a car accident or an unexpected life-changing diagnosis. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona aims to change that perception. AZ Blue often takes care of more than 99% of hospital charges in major emergencies, protecting you and your family from devastating financial consequences. To learn more about how AZ Blue protects its members, head to azblue.com/true story.
During the year-end sales event at Scottsdale Mitsubishi, you can receive 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard right, 0%.
Think how much you'll save when you pay no interest. The name to remember? Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Welcome back into hour number 2, the lunch break, right here on KDUS AM 1060, a Football Friday edition of the show. You can join the program. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. You can also chat away with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel, where we live stream the show. You can say hello to us and watch the program over there as well. We've got picks to make this hour, a lot of picks to make. Nobody used any points last night, so it's a full assortment of picks from both producer Evan and myself. We'll also get picks from you, team listener, here today on the show as well. The picks brought to you by Von Hansen's. We'll get to that here this hour. We'll talk some Diamondbacks here in just a little bit, a list of potential targets for them in the pitching market. But it is another week, another game for the Arizona Cardinals, not playing for a whole lot at 3-7. but they are potentially playing for the job security of the head coach, of the general manager, of some of the players involved, whether or not they are going to be brought back. Jonathan Gannon met with the media this morning. Jonah Williams placed on IR. He is done for the season. So the second year of that 2-year deal that the Cardinals signed with him, that he's going to hit free agency. Don't see the Cardinals bringing him back. He has been not great at that spot, and I think they're going to look for a long-term answer in the offseason, potentially via the draft at the right tackle spot. So Jonah Williams on IR. There will be no Marvin Harrison Jr. on Sunday. Baron Browning is out. Amari DiMercato is also out. Trey Benson's status up in the air. Jonathan Gannon wouldn't rule it out. Wanted to see how today went. So that's something to keep an eye on here over the weekend, just like we were talking about in the look ahead with Joe Burrow. Cardinals have until mid-afternoon tomorrow to put Trey Benson on the active roster for the game on Sunday. So we'll know tomorrow afternoon whether or not Trey Benson will be able to suit up and give it a go. And with the state of the Cardinals running back room, it would certainly be nice to have Trey Benson back. Also will be good to see him get those valuable reps here in year 2 of his NFL career. But it's a game that doesn't have a whole lot of meaning for the Cardinals in terms of keeping their playoffs hopes alive. At 3-7, I think we see the writing on the wall that they're not playing for a playoff position. But the team across from them on Sunday is. The Jacksonville Jaguars come into this game at 6-4. They come into it holding on to, I believe, the 7th and final playoff spot. And you look at the teams directly around them. They have a 5-5 Kansas City team. They have a 5-5 Baltimore team. I believe Houston is also flirting for that 7th and final playoff spot. So the Jags are trying to hold off a plethora of teams that want that 7th and final wild card spot. So this game means everything to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Means everything to Liam Cohn in year 1 down there in Jacksonville to try to will this team to the playoffs. It's what he was brought there for. They thought they had a ready-made roster. They thought they had the right quarterback. They just didn't think they had the right coach. First, it was Urban Meyer. That didn't work out. Then they went to Doug Peterson. That didn't work out. They think the third time is the charm here, and they are on the doorstep of getting back to the postseason with Trevor Lawrence, which I think could go a long way to cooling off some of the talks about the Jags moving him in the offseason. If you make the playoffs in year 1 with Liam Cohn and Trevor Lawrence, I don't think you have that strong of an appetite to make that move. So playing for a lot, playing for the playoffs, but also playing for the medium-term future of this franchise. They already paid Trevor Lawrence, so not needing to thrust themselves into the quarterback market's kind of a good thing. So they're playing for everything. The Cardinals not playing for the same type of reward as the Jags, and that's what makes this game so intriguing for me.
It's kind of an interesting one because you have the Cardinals sitting here, and there's a belief from the fan base that the head coach and the GM are now in a position where this team is playing for their jobs. Yeah, I don't know if they believe that internally.
I think the position, it's certainly the position of this show. I think it's the position of most people that listen to this show based on some of the feedback that we've gotten on this, is that I think many are just unsure right now about Jonathan Gannon. They're not comfortable with it being a guarantee that they just bring this regime back. They want to see how this season finishes. I think if they finish and they don't win any more games, and we're talking about a 3-14 season, then you have to make a move. If they get to 4 or 5 wins, I think you're going to consider a move. If they win 3 or more games, you go 6-11 or better, I think there's a strong inclination to bring them back. If they finish 7-10, 8-9, I don't think we're having this conversation because they'll have finished the season on a good note. So I do think that each of these games matters for Jonathan Gannon and Monty, because right now the answer to the question can be we're not considering a change. But as these losses stack up, and I really think it matters how these losses look, because the last 2 weeks, I will tell you, these are bad losses, not just because of the lopsided score. You were unprepared in Seattle. Unprepared. A defensive-minded coach shouldn't allow that to happen to his team. You were unprepared. And then, I honestly think last week is worse, because the follow-up to being unprepared is you had another lackluster defensive performance, but you were also undisciplined and committed the most penalties in a single game in franchise history. Those 2 games back-to-back paint a really ugly picture. And so this game is very intriguing for me because I got to see something. I got to see fight. I got to see a team that's prepared. I got to see a team that's disciplined, because I will tell you, if this team rolls out on Sunday and it's still unprepared and they're committing penalties and they're undisciplined, that is the starting signs of a team that has given up on their coach. That is the signs of this thing starting to come apart at the seams. And these losses starting to stack up. We start talking about a 3-8 team next week. They're firmly going to be in the top 10 of the NFL draft. We're going to start getting close to the point where they might be picking in the top 5, and one of those 3 quarterbacks could be in earshot for the Cardinals. So it all matters how it looks. But you have a Jacksonville team that's playing for everything. You have a chance to play spoiler this week for them. I want to see that type of fight. If Jacksonville rolls in here and it's a comfortable, easy win in the fourth quarter, they put it on cruise control, and you never feel like the Cardinals are in the game, that is a bad look for Jonathan Gannon, because it'll be 3 straight weeks of that. And as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, the more games like that stack up, the harder it becomes to justify bringing them back.
If they come out and quit this week, I don't see a world where you can fight back, in all honesty. Because that would mean to me, he's lost the locker room, and he's going to regain it at that point, 3-8. No. This feels like a big game for the Cardinals, because you're going to see this week if the writing is on the wall or not for them. And if it is, you'll know probably in the first few series if they've quit. And if it isn't, we'll see how it finishes. But if they quit this week, I would be looking into making a change sooner rather than later.
Yeah, if it's just another loss like the last 2, again, the resume just grows. It's another data point. It's another loss on the resume, and the resume's not getting better with time. It's getting worse with time. And if it's a 3rd straight loss that looks like the way the last 2 did, it gets harder and harder to believe in the vision. I'm not in the locker room. I can't speak to the way the locker room feels. I can just tell you that if it's a 3rd straight loss like that, it's not a team that's showing the signs of progress. It's not a team that is showing the signs of a culture and an identity that's sustainable and winnable. And it just doesn't look like a winning organization at that point. If it's a 3rd straight loss where you're giving up 30, 40 points, if it's a 3rd straight loss where you're committing, 10 plus penalties and you're just killing yourself by stopping drives because of penalties or extending drives for them because of penalties. This is not a pushover team you're facing this week. This is a Jacksonville team that has everything to play for. I will continue to say it. They need this game. They view this game as an opportunity for them to create some distance, to create some separation between them and the other teams that are jockeying for a position to be there if they falter for that 7th and final wildcard spot. That's what you're up against this week. That's the team you're facing. They view you, not the get-right opportunity because they beat the Chargers last week, but they view you as a golden chance to pick up another victory. You've got to show the fight that it's not going to be easy. And if you lose the game close late in the fourth quarter and you saw the fight and it came down to the final possession, I can live with that. I can live with that a lot more than allowing 40-plus points each of the last 2 weeks. I can live with it a lot more than 17 penalties. I can live with a close game in the fourth quarter where you show the fight. Now, it'll be another fourth quarter where you don't come through. That's a separate conversation. But I'll at least see some signs of progress from the final 2 weeks. So I've got to see fight. I've got to see something, because if these losses continue to stack up, and I got to tell you, I hate this matchup for the Cardinals. I hate it.
But yeah, it doesn't look good. I got to be honest with you. My outlook on this week and this team for the rest of the year is pretty low. It's pretty dim. I don't see a path where they're going to get to a point for me where I'm not talking about firing the head coach, because there's 2 ways this goes, in all honesty. You can sit here and argue, well, they don't win in the fourth quarter. And then you can sit and say, in the 2 biggest games, they got absolutely crushed from beginning to end. And I don't really know how anybody could argue against either of those points to bring him back. I don't see a way that you can, in good conscience, think that he's going to compete next year with this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's just There's just
what has he shown you? Like,
right.
What positive sign, in all honesty, has this guy shown you since the minute he's gotten here?
No, I hear you. I think you're 100% accurate. The resume is not strong enough. And with each data point that gets added that's a negative, it gets harder and harder to justify it. So that's what the Cardinals are playing for. That's what's on the line here in this game for the Cardinals. I mean, you look at this and you're facing a Jacksonville team that is been – what's the word that I want to use here to describe this Jacksonville team?
A roller coaster?
I was going to say up and down. Roller coaster also works. They're really good at running the football. Like, they can run the football really well. They have a 46.1% success rate on rushing plays. That's fifth best in football. They've been really good. Their defense does create the turnovers, but it's been gettable at times. So you look at this matchup, and I think Jacoby Brissett can have some success. Feed Michael Wilson, feed Trey McBride. I don't know how you're going to run the football if you don't have Trey Benson back on Sunday. That's going to be a bit of a question mark. That's going to present its fair share of challenges, but I just got to see fight. I just have to see something from this team that tells me that they're still playing hard for their coach, that the message is still landing, and that they can clean up mistakes like the 17 penalties. Like, I just need to see, and I think the fact that that's the bar I need this team to clear in week 12 of year 3 says everything that it needs to say. Hence why I broke up with the coach and the GM on Monday. But if you even want me to entertain the idea of these guys coming back, I need to see so much more than I've seen from the last 2 weeks. Another repeat performance of the last 2 weeks, and the noise just gets way too loud. Like, we started to talk about it this past week nationally. We started to talk about it here. He got asked a question about whether or not he feels like he's on the hot seat. You lose another game like that on Sunday, it gets turned up a little bit more.
It's 3-8 is, I mean, at max they're 9-8. And that team's not good enough to win out. I mean, they play Houston in a few weeks. They may not score. They may not score in that game.
Again, Jacksonville's defense, despite the turnovers, is gettable. You can score points on them.
You look at the schedule. Where are they going to find wins?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not great. It's not a great schedule. And it's a team that is coming in on just a terrible stretch of performance defensively, 85 points over the last 2 weeks. So if we're doing the vibe check, they're not coming in with good vibes, where Jacksonville is coming off of a nice win over the Chargers, riding high. Now, could they overlook you? Certainly have that going for you. They may overlook you on Sunday. And you're not a bad football team. You are better than your 3-7 record indicates. But you got to start acting like it. You got to start showing it. Or else, what is the old, I think it's the Bill Parcells saying, you are what your record says you are? At some point, that becomes the truth.
And at some point, it becomes the head coach. Period.
So we'll see. We'll see. Can you show fight? Jacksonville has everything to play for. Can you play spoiler? Can you make them earn it? Can you pull off the upset? I mean, Jacksonville is only a 2.5-point favorite in this game. So the wise guys say you've got a chance in this one. So pull off the upset, keep it close. Just don't have what happened the last 2 weeks happen again. Can the Cardinals show fight? It's my big question going into this game. That's all I want to see. I don't even need to see a win, really, truthfully. I just need to see fight. That's the bar I need to clear this week. And we'll worry about the wins a little bit later on as the season comes to a close. Because they're not going to win 7. They're not going to win 9 or 10 games.
No,
to make
the
the
season's
playoffs.
over.
So coming up with this, fantasy win number that if they get, you'll feel comfortable bringing back the coach, I think is foolish. I think it's fool's gold. You just want to feel good about the team at the end of the year. I don't know if anything's going to make us do that.
Whatever amount of wins you want to get to keep the coach, guess what? I'm going to tell you right there.
It's not enough.
They're not getting there.
I mean, 5-12. 5-12 feels the most realistic outcome.
They're not getting there.
I mean, that's still short.
They may win one more game the rest of the year. That's it.
And it's games like this that are toss-ups that if you can steal them, you can get to 5, you can get to 6. You can start to maybe this season look a little bit better on paper, and then you can convince yourself, well, if some of these fourth quarter games went our way, we're 9-8 and we're in the mix, right? You can convince yourself of that.
Both feet on the ground, stand by what I said.
I agree. I'm unwavering from my position on Monday, but if people want me to start reconsidering my opinion, I need to see something on Sunday. You're supposed to be better prepared. Right, exactly. What a great drop. I mean, that drop is emblematic of the last 2.
And if they're not?
We are going to have some of those tough conversations. I think we've had some of those tough conversations this week here on the program. You know, some might say already, we went busto. I mean, some could say that. Some could say that the Cardinals have gone busto. I don't know why you got to do something. I don't know why we're playing drop bingo right now, but
who cares?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do here on the program. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to hang out with us here today on the program. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. I have not missed anything. No, you're missing everything by not watching us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel where you can watch the program. You're missing a lot over there, okay? When we come back, a list of potential Diamondbacks pitching targets have dropped. Do we like what the list says? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs, 2 doubles. They also walked him 5 times, 4 intentionally. They've gotten to the point where he's getting Bonds treatment. I want you to pitch in shame. If you're going to intentionally walk him, I want you to throw the 4 pitches that look silly because you don't want to face him. I don't want it to be, hey, we're going to walk him and I point him to first base. Nope. I want you to acknowledge that you can't get him out and you throw those 4 pitches.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app.
JTV, Jewelry Television. With 80,000 jewelry looks, we're kind of a big deal. Even bigger with new lines of designer handbags, fragrances, and more. And biggest of all, because you could win a 7-night stay in Bali, spending money and thousands worth of JTV jewelry, making you kind of a big deal. Enter by December 7th at jtv.com/sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. Then watch JTV on TV or shop jtv.com for big holiday deals.
It's frustrating when people intervene on you, but they have problems of their own. It's like when someone sends you a text, but the text comes from their email address. I hate this. Your name at iCloud, they FaceTime you from their email address? Are you calling on a child's iPad?
Emmy-winning comedian John Mulaney announces his new tour, Mr. Whatever. Celebrity Theater, Friday, March 6th. Tickets on sale now at etix.com.
Hi, Jan from Toyota here to let you know that Toyotathon is on. And what better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota, like RAV4, Grand Highlander, and Corolla Cross. But to really get in the spirit, let's sing about it. So without further ado, driving through the snow in a new RAV4, hooray. To the slopes we go in a Highlander for a ski day. A Camry to get hot cocoa, tubing with a Tundra makes the kids go loco. Oh, what fun it is to make holiday wishes come true. Toyotathon, Toyotathon, Toyotathon is on. Oh, what fun it is to drive a new Toyota today. Hey, presto, a new holiday classic. All right, let's sing it again.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers on these vehicles end December 1st. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 5th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Have you guys tried these holiday cookies? Are so good.
Toyota, let's go places.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. As the calendar turns to November, Thursday night in Houston served up the annual reminder of the NFL's great truth. Nothing flips a game faster than a pass rush. The Texans, wobbling through an uneven season, missing quarterback C.J. Stroud, walked into a matchup that looked like a mismatch on paper. A loaded Bills roster, backup quarterback on the other side, and that's a recipe for a long night. Houston never bought into that script. Instead, the Texans unleashed the kind of defensive fury that tilts the entire league. 8 sacks, relentless pressures, snap after snap, discomfort for Josh Allen, who rarely looks rattled. And by the end of 4 quarters, Houston walked out with a 4-point win. This is the equalizer. You can be outgunned, outmanned, undermanned at quarterback, but if you collapse the pocket, speed up an offense's heartbeat, that playing field levels in a hurry. It's November football. Talent matters, but having a great pass rush keeps you in a season. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. It's being called the Golden Bonanza Sweepstakes. Thanks to our friends at Mako, the DP Show, proud to be a part of this, giving listeners a chance to join us in San Francisco for Super Week. That's right, a trip for two, including round-trip coach airfare, 3 nights, hotel stay, ground transportation, and VIP access to see us do our show. If that's not enough, Mako also giving away 5 free paint jobs and 10 Mako and DP Show swag bags as runner-up prizes. It's really simple to enter. You go to danpatrick.com. The best news, you can enter daily for a chance to win. You can also receive a 25% off coupon to use at any Mako shop. Visit any Mako location now for a free estimate and redeem the coupon. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, go to danpatrick.com for official rules. No purchase necessary. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. Open to contiguous U.S. D.C. residents 18 or over. Ends 11/23/25.
NAU men's basketball over on KAZG 1440. Join the Lumberjacks as they look to prove themselves on the court against Cal Poly. With the direction of head coach Shane Burkhardt, the Lumberjacks know they have what it takes to win and defend the Roll Activity Center. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live this Monday night. It's NAU versus Cal Poly. Pre-game Monday night at 5:30 p.m. and tip-off at 6 over on KAZG 1440.
Producer Evan, I found it. I found the 3-point play this week. Smacked me right in the face. The most obvious play I think I've seen all season. I mean, this is a mispriced number. I've never seen something so mispriced in my life.
The Buccaneers.
That will not be one of my 3 plays. I want nothing to do with that game. Are you locked in? Do you have your 3 ready to go?
Yes, I do.
So you're ready to go? I've got my 3 locked in. I won't show the YouTube audience because I don't want you to see and copy my picks.
I wouldn't copy yours.
Try to put the block on me this week. Try to box me out.
Now that I'm 1 point in front.
You are 1 point in front going into this week. First time all year that you've had a little bit of a lead. We'll need to hear from you in just a little bit for you to make some picks to represent Team the Listener. We'll get to that here in just a second. Nick Picoro dropped the story on azcentral.com with 5 potential targets for the Arizona Diamondbacks in free agency. And let me temper expectations here. This is not a list of the most high-prized free agents that are going to be out there, but it does, I think, reflect where the Diamondbacks will be shopping. And I do think there are 2 players in particular on this list that I kind of like. And first on the list, Zach Littell, who is a guy who can just eat up some innings, pitched for the Reds last year, and could be one of those 2 starters that the Diamondbacks get. Not somebody that's going to be a middle-of-the-rotation guy, but somebody that could be more of a back rotation, innings eater, going to take the ball every 5th day, throw a bunch of strikes. And, yeah, you'll have a chance to win when they're on the mound, but you're going to have to come to the ballpark with the bats. That's the first name on the list. Phil Maton, a reliever, a veteran reliever on this list, somebody who doesn't throw very fast, gets away with, a lot of off-speed stuff. There's a nasty curveball that's really kind of the big part of what he does, but he's been successful despite not conforming to this velocity era that we're in for relievers. He's also on Picoro's list. This is the first name that really intrigues me. Emilio Pagan, who was the 9th inning guy, the closer for the Cincinnati Reds last year, and fared very well as their closer. They had Alexis Diaz, Edwin Diaz's brother, out there. Got hurt, underperformed. They needed to go to somebody else. Emilio Pagan was the guy who stepped up. And I think the Diamondbacks would have some serious competition for him, as they would for the other guy on the list that really intrigues me. But Emilio Pagan would be the perfect. We talked about getting a veteran, maybe somebody who had closer experience to fill in while you're waiting for the rest of the bullpen to get healthy. Emilio Pagan certainly fits that bill. And Picoro points out in the story that he might get priced out of the Diamondbacks range, but if he gets something in the neighborhood of the 2-year, $16 million contract that he just got with the Reds, that it could make him a fit. So that's somebody to keep an eye on. Again, I think teams are going to be tripping over each other this offseason to get relief help, to get guys who can pitch in the 8th or 9th inning. And somebody like Emilio Pagan, been there, done that, I think is going to be at the top of a lot of teams' list. The next name, Pete Fairbanks. This was a surprise move from Tampa. They paid a $1 million buyout on an option for Fairbanks for $11 million. They tried to trade him. Nobody wanted to take on that salary. But this is somebody that has closer experience with a really good reliever for Tampa. Yeah, you always worry about these really shrewd, smart front offices. I think of Houston. I think of the Dodgers. I think of the Rays. I think of the Guardians. When they give up on somebody, the alarm bells kind of go off of what do they know, but perhaps it was just a cost-saving move. I mean, Tampa doesn't spend a lot of money. $11 million to them and to their budget is a lot. Another veteran option that, again, in the same bucket as Emilio Pagan, fits that role of somebody who's been there, done that late innings, 8th, 9th, setup, closer, you name it, they've done it, that the Diamondbacks, I think, need to acquire while they wait for Justin Martinez and A.J. Puck to come back from injuries. And the third name on the list, Cody Ponce, who was over in Korea, spent the last 4 years overseas, 3 in Japan, 1 in Korea, had a really great year in the KBO last year and is going to come back over. And as Pecoro points out in the piece, the Diamondbacks did this with Merrill Kelly, and Ponce is another guy, starter, who's over there, now wants to make the transition back so that they could be intrigued with that. But the reason why I wanted to bring this story to your attention today is because these are the types of names that you have to start to consider. Yeah, we can dream of the Tariq Skubal trade like we did yesterday. Yeah, I think it's worth talking about Hunter Green if he's available, Mackenzie Gore if Washington wants to trade him, Edward Cabrera down in Miami. I think those are the big swings. But producer Evan asked me in Buy or Sell today, do I think the Diamondbacks add 3 starters? And I said yes to that. Because I think they try to go for one middle to higher end starter. They go for the one back end starter. And then I think they go for one dart throw. And so they're going to wade into different ends of the pool. I think Cabrera, Gore, Green, Skubal to a certain extent, that's the big end of the pool. Skubal, I think, is a separate, totally different pool. But the other 3 are your middle to high end, young, under control starters that's going to cost a lot in prospect capital to give up, but they solve a major need for this team. And then I think they'll go for somebody like a Zach Littell or a Cody Ponce. They'll go for one of those guys to fill in that number 4, number 5, back end innings eater, take the ball every 5th day type, and then they'll take a dart throw on somebody that can be a swingman. And they're also going to add a reliever. But these are the types of names you have. It's not always going to be flashy. It's not always going to be splashy, especially this offseason for this team. So I thought a great article from Nick showing just some of the names that this team might be considering this offseason. And as he mentioned, not an exhaustive list, just a couple of the names that could fit the way the Diamondbacks might be thinking this offseason. The phone number, very important. You need it right now. 480-864-1060. Why do you need it right now? Because we need somebody. We need one of you to represent Team Listener, to battle the show, to battle the lunch break in our pick segment for Week 12. The way it works, you call the phone number. You're the caller number that I throw out here. You need to have 3 picks. We'll bring you on the air. You make a 3-point play, a 2-point play, a 1-point play. You tie or beat myself or producer Evan, you get yourself a $50 gift card to Von Hansen's for beating us in the Pick'em contest. You can pick spreads, you can pick totals, you can pick the Monday night game if you want. Has to be an NFL game, but you can take the Monday night game if you want to have that sweat into Monday if you're so inclined. You need a 3-point play, a 2-point play, a 1-point play. That is your level of confidence in those picks. You'll compete directly against us. So we'll go caller number 3 at 480-864-1060. You will represent Team Listener. We'll bring you on the air. You'll make your picks, and you'll try to beat us. Team Listener has been on a really good stretch right now. We'll try to keep that going here. Producer Evan and myself will try to hold you off, but it's our fun little pick segment here that we do every Friday on the show. So caller number 3, 480-864-1060. You will represent Team Listener and make the picks this week on the show, and then we'll make the rest of our picks all on the other side. It's the lunch break, KDUS. AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
And LSU said, yeah, we've had enough. They've had enough of the experience of Brian Kelly losing 3 out of the last 4, and 2 of which he lost to his coordinator. They were ex-coordinators of him. And the last 3 coaches they've had, they've all won national championship within 4 years. Coach O did it. Les Miles did it. Nick Saban did it. Brian Kelly did not. Yeah, out. Now the question is, who do they bring in?
Bring back Coach O.
Can't wait to see who that's going to be. No, I think he burned in bridges.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Head coach Brian Wright and the Lumberjacks are setting a new standard in Flagstaff.
Happy with our attitude, our effort, how we've come together as a football team.
Join us Saturday. The Lumberjacks visit the Weber State Wildcats. Our coverage begins at 11 a.m. on your home for Lumberjack football.
Skips his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks.
The NAU Lumberjack Sports Network from Learfield.
The Marshall Tucker Band. Get ready for a night of legendary Southern rock and sing along to all the classics. The Marshall Tucker Band with special guest Firefall, bringing their timeless hits. February 28th at the Celebrity Theater. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. The Marshall Tucker Band and Firefall, brought to you by Danny Zalisco Presents.
708 million toys for children.
That's a lot of toys.
Tens of thousands handed out right here in our community.
Once again this year, we are collecting new unwrapped toys for Toys for Tots.
And for every toy you donate,
we'll donate another.
For every $1 you donate,
we'll match it.
Alaskan AC has partnered with the Marine Corps Toys for Tots.
Stop by our offices or hand your donation to a Jolly Polar Bear technician when they're in your home.
Alaskan AC will purchase an extra toy for each one donated.
Or match any dollars you donate.
And your donations stay right here in town, putting smiles on little faces who could be your neighbor.
Toys for Tots has been an American tradition since 1947.
An organization we're proud to support every year.
Because we believe every child should have a present on Christmas.
We'll donate a toy for everyone you donate.
And match cash donations dollar for dollar.
We want every child to have a Merry Christmas.
For our location or to schedule service, find us at alaskanac.com.
This holiday season, elevate your event at Talking Stick Resort. From breathtaking views and a world-class golf course to 113,000 square feet of flexible event space, every detail sets the stage for an unforgettable holiday party. Whether it's cocktails under the stars or a fully produced banquet with state-of-the-art AV, Talking Stick has it all. Plus a luxurious spa for next day recovery. Secure your celebration today. Talking Stick Resort, Scottsdale's premier destination for celebration. Life well played.
Scorpion Harley-Davidson is making it easier than ever to ride with rates as low as 0.01% for 36 months on select 2024 and 2025 touring motorcycles, including the all-new Road Glide. Imagine carving up the road with iconic style, power, and comfort, all in one legendary machine. Don't miss your chance to lock in this incredible rate or shop 100-plus in-stock pre-owned motorcycles. Scorpion Harley-Davidson. Online at scorpionharley.com. On approved credit, see dealer for details. On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I am down 1 point going into week 12, the first time that I have not had a lead, which means producer Evan gets the chance to decide who goes first.
You go first.
Is that because you're dealing with a little bit of a technical issue over there on the stream? I saw
Yes.
you. I saw you hitting buttons over there.
But I don't know how to get back.
Let me help you. Nope, that's not what I want. How about this?
See, that's just me.
What did you do? I think you broke it.
You broke it.
No, you broke it. Now it's all broken.
Now I got me.
Yes!
There it is.
No, you know what it is? It's the button that says Custom Layout 5. That's the button you have to hit. Who knew? So I'm going first.
You're gonna go first.
Now,
team listener.
No. So I'll tell you this. I thought about this. I thought about it a lot during the break because I saw what happened in real time. And I'm going to be fair to team listener right now because you were talking to somebody, call dropped. Didn't have a backup ready to go.
No.
We could just take the win or we could open it back up. So I'm going to make my picks. While I do that, I'll give out the phone number again, 480-864-1060. Somebody wants to hop in. Now, you can't be somebody who's played recently. It's a month you cannot play. So if you've won in the past month or played in the past month, can't play again. if you want to represent Team Listener, I'm going to give you one more chance. Because when I'm done with my picks, it's producer Evan's turn. So I'll give one more shot to Team Listener today. 480-864-1060. I think that's fair, no?
I think that's very fair.
Yeah. So I'll let you handle your business behind the glass while I share my picks. My 1-point play this week. I've never met a large spread that I don't like. And there are 2 this week. 3, in fact, that I like. But there's one that I absolutely love. We're going to Tennessee, and we've got Seattle minus 12.5 against the Tennessee Titans. I wish this game was in Seattle, but I think this is the perfect opportunity for Seattle to shake off what happened last week against the Rams, a game they almost won, even though their quarterback threw 4 interceptions. They're playing a Tennessee team that just does not have the personnel to stick with Seattle, and Seattle can score. I think they're out to prove a point this week. I think they're out to bounce back this week, and they get the perfect opponent to win by 2 touchdowns. They do exactly that. Seattle minus 12.5 as my 1-point play. My 2-point play. How about a total, producer Evan? How about a total? It worked last week. I'm going with it again. Jameis Winston starting. Give me the over. Detroit, New York Giants, over 50.5. Yes, I know it's a big number. Detroit's going to be looking to bounce back. I know they're not going to have Sam Laporta. They still have a lot of great offensive weapons. Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm probably going to ride his performance all the way to a fantasy football championship appearance. That's how good he's been for me this season. Jared Goff's been great, and you know Jameis is going to give Detroit a couple of opportunities with some interceptions. The Giants can also score. You know Jameis is going to throw those 50-50 balls, so I think opportunities aplenty this week. I'll take Detroit Giants over 50.5. And I honestly don't know what I'm rooting for because I think Detroit can blow this game out of the water, and that's a good game script for me. The game being close is also a good game script for me. I don't see this being a defensive affair where I'm looking up in the fourth quarter and it's, 17-10, and I need a lot of help. I think I'm going to pretty comfortably get this one. And my 3-point play. This line is completely mispriced. Give me the reigning, defending, undisputed NFC and Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles minus only 3 points against the Dallas Cowboys. All because they can't score points. All because their offense hasn't been good for months. That's the only reason why this is minus 3. Dallas is 4-5-1. Everyone's like, I beat the Raiders on Monday night. They're back. Wrong. The Philadelphia Eagles get their breakthrough offensive performance, and they win this game by 2 scores.
It's the 2 things that spread, and I'll let everybody know that's not one of my plays, because if I keep picking the Eagles, people will call me a homer. Problem is, I'm hitting at an unreal clip on the Eagles. I mean, like the Packers line 2 weeks ago was an egregiously misnumbered price. This is an egregiously misnumbered game.
I was going to say, you used egregious 2 weeks ago. I'll use it this week. This is egregious.
I mean, like, this is ridiculous.
Even if they have the offensive struggles.
They could score 17. They're covering this spread.
The defense is good enough where they win this game 17-10.
I mean, did you see the Lions offensive line this, the Lions offensive line that? They looked like children out there compared to the Eagles front last week.
And I will tell you, the Eagles have this thing where you doubt them, you talk about them, and they have that one performance, right?
Yeah.
This feels like the week.
I just want to be very clear on what there's been a lot of talk surrounding the Eagles. You know when there was a lot of talk surrounding the Eagles? Last year, when they told everybody to fire, when everybody told them to fire the coach.
I'm basically betting on the Eagles to win the football game.
Like, it's just... It's egregious.
It's minus
this
3.
Number's only 3.
It's minus a field goal. You're saying, do I think the Eagles will win the game? I think they win the football game. I'll take the Eagles. By the way, they played the first week of the season. I know that's eons ago. But if not for the weather delay.
It's still a 4-point game, by the way.
I think the Eagles, they're just going to trade touchdowns back and forth. The Eagles had a, 4-point lead?
Yeah, they would have covered that spread.
So, Eagles minus 3, please, as my 3-point play. See you on Monday.
I like your plays. I like all 3 of them, if I'm being honest.
I swear.
I'm really disappointed in you.
You take Eagles minus 3. Everything that you said about me last week, I will say about you.
Yes. I'm really disappointed in you.
What, that I didn't take the Ravens minus the 13.5?
No, not that. My 1-point play. and I thought we were doing this together in a unifying moment here.
I couldn't do it.
Colts plus 3.5.
I couldn't do it. I wanted to so bad. I couldn't do it. I love it.
And I'm so upset with you that you didn't want to do it with me.
I'm a little behind, so I knowing that you wanted to do it, I felt like I needed to be different, but I love it. I would honestly, we talked about, we've had plenty of conversations off air about things we can do with this segment. We've talked about like having like these wild card chips that you can play where like 1 week you can just say, I want to use all my points on one play. This might be the week I use all my points on Colts plus the 3.5. That's how strong I feel like they win this game.
I don't know what it is. I really think they win this football game.
There's no analysis. There's no statistic. It
feels like a Colts game to win.
I feel like the Chiefs are done. And no Isaiah Pacheco this week. I feel like the Chiefs are done. And I think this is the moment where everybody realizes it.
And if they get run over by Jonathan Taylor, imagine what that's going to do to that locker room. Imagine. I just want to be very clear.
I love it.
A lot of talk around the Eagles. They broke the Chiefs.
I love the 1 point play. I love it.
Broke them. 2 point play. Another big spread. You stayed with this game in 2 points. Give me Detroit minus 12.5.
Yeah.
I just don't see the Giants getting a stop in this game.
No, that's hence why I think we're going to get to the 50.
Amon-Ra St. Brown was talking a lot this offseason. And let's face it, things went really poorly in Philadelphia for Amon-Ra. The worst game he's ever played after everything he said all offseason. I expect a big game. In a meaningless game for the Lions, I expect him to hang 50 on the Giants.
The Packers, who have a rough offense, scored 27 last week against the Giants.
Yes.
What are the Lions going to do?
Yeah, that's kind of my point here. And plus, it's back indoors. That's really good for Jared Goff.
It's excellent for Jared Goff.
So I like the Lions minus the 12.5. And my 3 point play. You went with the most egregious spread of the week. I'm going to go with the second, and I just move. I still love it. Give me Bucks plus 6.5. If I could take them outright in this one, I would.
It's not how it works.
I know. That's why I said if I could, I would. The Bucks. I'm sorry. It's time they get off this little skid, and I think they do it on Sunday night.
3 of their last 4. And the one win is against the Saints, so it's not something you really hang your hat on.
But the Rams played an emotional one with Seattle last week. 2 weeks ago, they played the Niners. I like the Bucks in this one.
I mean, they don't need to win the game. They just need to keep it close.
Just need to keep it close. And I'm sorry, and I might be the only one. I know this Bucs defense isn't great. The Rams offense was not impressive at all last week. And yes, they got some pressure on Sam Darnold. 3 of those picks were egregiously bad. Baker's not throwing.
Yeah, 4 turnovers, and they only scored, 21 points in the game?
Yeah, I mean, 21-19. They almost lost that football game.
Yeah, they almost lost the game in which they got 4 interceptions for the opposing quarterback. So it was an impressive win, but it could have been even more impressive. So, no, I love it, and there's 1 point that separates us, so it'll be fun to watch. It's fun not already losing 3 points like I've done each of the last 2 weeks.
And it's fun that we don't have any overlap here.
Right, so it is a straight who can pick them the best, not who can copy the other one.
And I think it's me.
So there you have it. The picks for Week 12 here in the NFL. We'll recap it all on Monday. The picks brought to you by Von Hanson's, located at Alma School just between Elliott and Warner in Chandler, or online at vonhansonsmeats.net. I actually was on the website the other day taking a look at what they've got, and boy, do they have everything. They're known for their sausage and brats, over 100 varieties of sausages and brats, which are made fresh in their Chandler store smokehouse. Whatever you need, they've got it. Your one-stop shop. Meats, beer, wine, barbecue rubs, wood chips. They've even got all-natural dog food and treats for your pup. They carry top-of-the-line beef and pork in the market. All of it comes from the Midwest. They've been in Chandler for 18 years, serving the best meats in the Valley. Check them out, located at Alma School just between Elliott and Warner in Chandler, or you can check them out online at vonhansonsmeats.net. When we come back, we close up shop here this week on the lunch break. It is the Friday edition of The Leftovers, all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the show. We get through as many of them as we can before we hand things off to Jim Rome at the top of the hour. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
When driving in Arizona, move over or slow down for any flashing lights. Move over for tow truck drivers, highway crews, and emergency responders. Move over for any vehicle with its hazards flashing. Because at 65 miles per hour, a vehicle travels over 95 feet in 1 second. 1 second that could change everything. When you move over for anyone, you're not just doing it for them, you're doing it for their families. Their lives are flashing before your eyes. Move over, Arizona. Every vehicle, every time. It's the law. Please visit moveoveraz.org. This message is brought to you by ADOT and this station.
The other day I couldn't find my belt, and my wife found my belt, and as she brought it to me, she said, "Where would you be without me?" And I wanted to say, exactly here without the belt. In fact, I would have the belt because I would know exactly where it was in yesterday's pants on the floor. But now, we're not allowed to leave yesterday's pants on the floor, so I need a National Treasure-style map to find my one lousy belt.
Seth Meyers, live on stage, Saturday, March 14th, Talking Stick Resort. Tickets are on sale now at TalkingStickResort.com.
Santa came early to Tim Hovik Santan Ford. Ho, 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 yeah. We've got 0 down, 0% financing, and 0 payments for 90 days. We're taking thousands off MSRP on new 25 Explorers, Escapes, F-150 Super Duty, Lightnings, Mach-E's, and more. We know affordability matters this holiday, so Tim Hovik Santan Ford is doing the unthinkable. 0 down, 0%, 0 payments till next year with thousands off MSRP. Get in now, because these Black Friday deals, they will not make it to December. Tim Hovik Santan Ford, online at santanford.com.
Fridays at 5, I'm out exploring. From hiking up Camelback to skiing at Snowbowl, the adventures never stop with AAA. It's membership that travels with me, whether behind the wheel or a passenger. In my ride, my buddies, or a rental. AAA's got 24/7 expert help with tows, battery help, and more. Plus, branch services like free passport photos and trip planning. Membership gives you all this and more for less than $6 a month, and I can add loved ones for half off. Call or visit your local branch today. AAA, your membership to go.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0 going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN. But according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrap it up. Football Friday here on the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for hanging out with us all week here on the lunch break, whether you're listening to us on KDUS AM 1060, you're listening to us on the app, and if you're not, probably the best way to listen to us and to take the station with you on the go. And if you're watching us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel, we appreciate however you may be listening to us here on the show. Jim Rome coming up at the top of the hour, but before that, it is all the stories we did not get to throughout the course of the show. And on a Football Friday, there certainly are a number of them. Producer Evan puts them all together. We try to get through as many of them as we can here before we wrap things up. And during the break, producer Evan continuing to justify his 3-point play of the Bucs over the Rams. You made the pick. It's locked in. You can't change it. So you don't need to justify it.
I just want to be very clear. I'm picking against the Rams 2 weeks in a row.
I understand that, but you, like in the break, you're like, oh, it's just a hunch. I feel it. You're good, man. You're good. The pick's locked in. You're going to get the 3 points if they win.
Listen, I get it. I get how it works, but I'm just telling you, the Rams aren't that good.
I mean, the Rams are currently the leaders of the NFC West right now.
Yes. Yep. I get it.
What do we have in the leftovers today?
Okay. Some injury news. Would you like to start with the Cardinals injury news?
Sure.
Jonah Williams undergoes season-ending surgery.
Yeah, going to be placed on IR, going to miss the remainder of the year, signed a 2-year deal to be the right tackle. Cardinals will be interested in a right tackle in the draft in 2026.
Yep. Tight end Sam Laporta is getting back surgery, unlikely to return this season. Is this a knock for the Lions offense?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, he's been absolutely incredible all year long for them. Now, it's not like they have zero talent elsewhere. They have Jahmyr Gibbs. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have Jamison Williams. They have talent to keep their offense going. But everything was kind of flowing through Laporta, and Laporta was creating such a mismatch for teams defensively that it was something that the Lions were able to take advantage of. So they're going to have to circle the wagons here. I mean, they've changed who's calling the plays, right? Campbell is now calling the plays again. He took that over from John Morton, who is the offensive coordinator. He's just not calling the plays on Sundays. So they're going to have to find themselves again. I mean, the 6-4 start to the year for them is not where they thought they were going to be. They're kind of going through it a little bit.
Can I ask you a question? So Dan Campbell takes over play calling. Obviously, they have the big game against Washington. They struggle in Philadelphia, specifically 0 for 4 on 4th down. So now you pair the aggressiveness with him as a play caller. Does that hurt them?
No. And I will continue to defend the way he approaches 4th downs, because you dance with the one that brought you. And it's who he is as a coach. And I know it may bother some people that he's this aggressive, and he does it all the time. But the moment he stops being that aggressive, it sends a message to the team. I don't believe in you anymore. And you just, as a coach, cannot do that. His whole thing, I mean, this drop on this soundboard, I have not missed anything, has to do with Hard Knocks, because I don't watch Hard Knocks. I just see social media clips. There's a social media clip of when the Lions were on Hard Knocks where Dan Campbell, passionately, one of his first couple of years there, it's like, I've got a plan. If you just believe in me, trust me, I'm going to do right by you. You just have to buy in. I have a plan, and it is for everybody's best interest. That's the message that he sells to his players. If he now goes back on what he has been as a coach, I think it doesn't destroy the relationship, but it erodes it a little bit. And that's when the cracks can start to form. So this is who he is as a coach, and he's going to have to be this way.
So I agree and disagree. You can't change it in the middle of the year. You can't change the philosophy now. But if next year, let's say they miss the playoffs, or they lose being too aggressive again in the playoffs. And if next year he says, hey, I think I went overboard on it. And that's not a not trusting you guys, but that's we're here now. We're a better football team. We have to play football with the best.
Correct.
And I have to take the points when I need to. That's what has to happen.
I think, now, if you ask me honestly, I think he likes being this coach. So I just think it's who he is as a coach. I don't see it changing. But if he got to the end of the year and he wanted to change it up, if he self-reflected and was like, man, maybe we're too aggressive, maybe it backfires, maybe we need to be a little bit more balanced, and he makes that a part of his offseason conversations with these players, and then reinforces it in OTAs, and reinforces it in rookie minicamp, and reinforces it in training camp, and then in the preseason, then I think you've gone about it the right, honest way, and it doesn't erode that relationship. I think everybody who expects him to, in the middle of the season, change who he is, it's doing the entire team a disservice if he does it.
I don't disagree with you in changing who you are. I just believe, and I've said this before, this exact line, circumstance dictate decisions. And for me, the Eagles are a more aggressive team. There's just no way in my right mind that the Eagles are going for that 4th down and not punting the ball away when the Lions haven't been good all night. Circumstances dictate my decisions. And I think that when it comes to what they did, a few years back in the NFC Championship, if they kick it, maybe they win that football game. And that conversation obviously comes up a lot, and you defend it, and I get why. Yeah, but you have to play the circumstances more. And I think because of that decision, because of I don't want to lose faith in my players, it's blinded the actual math and analytics of the football game to know I have to kick it here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with how he coached the Sunday night game. I know that everybody was up in arms that he constantly was going for it. I just think it's who you are as a team, and you can't in the middle of the game all of a sudden just change what you're doing. This is what you believe in. This is who you are as a coach. This is your philosophy. You have to stick by it. If you want to, listen, coaches can change. They can evolve. If you want that to be a part of your offseason process, then I think that's fine. But I don't think you can do it in the middle of a game because it just sends a terrible message. And football is about culture. It's about going to war with your teammates. And it's about believing in the vision that your coach is setting out. And I just don't think it's as easy as saying, oh, well, it didn't work the first 3 times. We're going to stop doing it. The players notice that. The players notice that, hey, this is a time that we would normally do it, and now we're not. And that then gets in their heads. so that the next time you do try to go for it, they're thinking about that.
I have less of a problem with it on Sunday night because they couldn't do anything offensively.
The postseason one, the San Francisco game in particular is the one that drove everybody crazy, that he didn't kick those field goals to
go up multiple scores,
to cushion their lead a little bit more, and then San Francisco made the comeback. I think that's the benefit of hindsight. I think in the moment he made the right decision with the data, but listen, I get it. I understand why this is a passionate topic, but I think you're seeing the league move more towards Dan Campbell in that regard. Like,
I agree.
More teams are doing that, so I think the data and the math tells you.
And I think now there are times where it's really dumb.
Sure, but I
can't defend every fourth down decision they make. The Eagles on Sunday night running the tush push on fourth and like a yard and a half was a horrible decision. And to be honest with you, it should be brought up in a press conference or a meeting. Like that's the reality of it.
That's going to do it for us on the Football Friday edition of the Lunch Break. Jim Rome is coming up next. Everybody have a great rest of your Friday. We'll talk to you on Monday. See ya.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.